It's me, D. Spot Boss Rapper. And Lola. My name Bunny.
For legal reasons, several clips featured in this video had to be removed or replaced with stills. Many of the images used are fan-made artwork and are not meant to be taken as official. We apologize for the inconvenience.
As we've discussed many times in the past, children's TV usually has a good amount of hidden depths. However, there are times when things get downright hellish in ways that not even adult shows can achieve. So today, we're going to be diving deep into the depths of kid shows and look at the top 30 disturbing moments we could find. The shows must be somewhat well known, so no foreign shit. Sorry, Mr. Nosy Bunk. And finally, no anime. With that being said, let's begin. Despite being a show about ghosts, Danny Phantom rarely ever gets scared for laughs. The most disturbing moment in the entire series comes from Danny himself. Well, second TV movie, The Ultimate Enemy, well, sort of. In the second TV movie, The Ultimate Enemy, shit gets real. 10 years into the future, the Earth of all time is making the lives of the survivors a living hell. And that ghost is the adult Danny Phantom. The most dangerous ghost of all time is making the lives of the survivors a living hell. And that ghost is the adult Danny Phantom. He became like that in the first place. It turns out that right after Danny travels into the future, an event takes place that turns him into this demon. This event being an explosion at the Nasty Burger that kills his entire family, as well as Sam Tucker and Mr. Lancer. Danny was then forced to move in with the only person who has a chance of understanding him, his family friend and arch nemesis, Vlad Masters, who is also half ghost. Despite their history, Vlad treated Danny with great sympathy. Unfortunately, it didn't do much good for Danny. He asked Vlad to remove his human half, so he wouldn't have to suffer human emotions anymore, who is also half ghost. Despite their history, he asked Vlad to remove his human half, so he wouldn't have to suffer human emotions. Vlad's ghost form out of him and fuses with it. The malice and evil inside of Vlad's ghost form is too much to handle, and it turns Danny into an irredeemable monster.
Oh my gosh, Daisy's heading right for that island.
You can tell how messed up this episode is going to be right from the title card, showing a beaten and bruised up Danny, barely holding up against his shadowy future self. And everything about future Danny is just disturbing, from his transformation scene to his complete lack of empathy. The fact that the main characters we come to know are just outright killed is another shocking detail that you don't usually see in Nickelodeon shows, or kid shows in general. And this episode was not a what-if plot either. It was very real, and it was close to... After his defeat, future Danny is never seen again. The ending set up his return, but thankfully he never escaped from his eternal prison cell.
My life as a teenage robot.
In addition to Ren and Stimpy, Rocko's Modern Life is one of Nickelodeon's most surreal and zany jokes and visual humor had little to no caustic slapstick. But we're not here to talk about funny stuff. Eventually an avalanche occurs, trapping them inside the cabin. Mr. Quint, leading to some absolutely fantastic slapstick. But we're not here to talk about funny stuff. Go a bit too far. In the 10th episode of the series Cabin Fever, the Big Heads go on vacation. Till they get there, they find that Rocko and Heifer rented the exact same cabin, leading them to have to spend the weekend together. As usual, Mrs. Big Head is just fine with this, but an avalanche occurs, trapping them inside the cabin. Mr. Big Head attempts to dig through the snow later that night, but ends up almost freezing to death. Half awake.
Mutants, where? Let me see! Sheesh, it is bigger. 15 iron. Time for your daily systems check.
Mr. Bighead looks up and sees a short, strange acid trip.
Jackie's father, Batman Beyond,